Good morning. Wow, I love that response. I think there's not much left for me to say, really, after such inspiring and insightful remarks. So perhaps rather than say a lot and tell you a lot, I'm going to ask some questions, starting with good morning and how are you? And perhaps as we reflect on that, we can think about how are we and how are we doing, which I think is a large part of why we're here today. I like questions, and I like Americans for the Arts very much. And you see, just in that title lie two of the big questions of my own life. What does it mean to be an American? And what does it mean to be an artist? The first has been perhaps the saga of my life. I am the daughter of a Mexican mother and a Bulgarian father. My dad came to this country with $20 in his pocket, a refugee with dreams and hopes, and my mother joined him. And I am the firstborn into this so-called state of cultural confusion, where I had these two cultures to learn about, but I had one to assimilate to, and that is the American culture. And I think the arts played a pivotal role in helping me understand that. And what I see that artists and Americans have in common is perhaps the thing that's most dear to my heart, and that is the ability to dream. As I set out to that second question, encompassed in the AFTA title, what does it mean to be an artist? Well, for me, my journey began at a very young age with someone who is right here to my left, and I am completely starstruck by her presence. When I first saw Miss Moreno's performance, I remember it vividly. My parents did not know West Side Story, but my neighbors did. And they pulled me in, and I just wanted to watch it over and over and over. And I wanted to be just like you. You were the first Latina woman, strong, that encompassed everything that I thought was great and worth aspiring and dreaming to be. But there was one big problem. I can't dance. So, alas, I had to settle for my second idol, which was Carmen. And I soon enough began listening to that opera over and over again. I would dress one little brother as the bull and the other as the bullfighter. And I would sort of wave my fake castanets in the air, and there began my dream of being a singer, a dream that I've been so incredibly fortunate to have come true. And I want to say that it never would have happened for me had it not been for an incredible public arts program in my public school in Ypsilanti, Michigan, a district that did not have a lot of resources, but it had a heck of a great choral program. And had it not been for that, I certainly wouldn't be here today. So I do see it as my role to use my voice literally and figuratively to advocate for the arts and to use the arts to try as hard and as best I can to try to create positive social impact. Most importantly, what I love about the arts, and to go back to that idea of questions, is that the arts allow us a safe space to explore the human condition. You see, I've often heard people refer to music as the universal language. And I see truth in that, but I challenge you to think of it slightly different. I believe that the universal is not music. It's our capacity to feel. All of us as humans, no matter what background or gender, ethnicity, we feel emotion. And the arts allow us this amazing, safe place to try to better understand ourselves and each other. And so I like to think of artists as perhaps a type of scientist of emotion, scientist maybe of the soul, if you will. When I think about the role of artists in all of this, I think it's our job to ask questions. As Ms. Moreno said last night, to hold up that mirror and ask the audience to reflect on their own lives. And as the Greeks often referred to that, the power of catharsis that can come from that questioning. And I believe as a society, perhaps the best measure of progress is to examine the questions that we are currently faced with. And I ask you to think about that. What are the questions that our American society is currently faced with? And are those a measure of progress? So, in conclusion, I began by asking you, how are you? And I'd like to leave you with a question that is hopefully in line with some progress. What I really want to know is not, how are you doing today? I want to know, how is your soul? Thank you so much.